Hey guys, and welcome to my Black Desert Online starter guide for new players. Basically what I'm going over here is what you should buy to get started with, and how to do enhancing and fail stacking. So if you already know these things, or you just need some suggestions because you're still kind of figuring things out, I'm going to summarize exactly what's going to happen. You're going to be buying the Grunil armor set, you're going to be getting the main hand Rosar, the offhand will be your accuracy offhand, that's going to be class specific. You're going to be getting a red or blue coral ring, up to you. You're going to get the ancient weapon core and guardian seal necklace and belt, and red coral earrings. If you can't afford those, just get the Barris green item. That'll be a lot cheaper if you don't have the money to spare. Otherwise, disclaimer, this guide is for really new players. This is going to have some things that might be out of date later on, may be inaccurate, and then also it's going to be completely based on my opinion. You may not agree with some of my suggestions for gear or how to go about doing enhancing. So if not, feel free to give better suggestions down in the comments below, and we can help each other out. Alright, so after several hours of playing, you're going to be wanting to eventually get some better armor, and we're going to start by looking at the Grunil armor set, which costs you anywhere between 300 to 400,000, depending on the going rate. The reason for Grunil is the set bonus is going to give you a lot of extra AP, and then it's also got 2 crystal slots in each piece of armor, and that'll allow you to customize stats how you please. Just go cheap on that. I wouldn't go too crazy with that, because if you die, you lose crystals. And then we're going to look at the Rosar for your main hand, also a 2-socket item, and the enhancement effect is going to give you attack and more accuracy, and accuracy is very important, especially later on in the game. Now while we're looking at offhands, we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be getting the accuracy offhand for ninjas. That'd be the Estique Shuriken, and as you enhance that, it gives you more accuracy. It only has 1 slot though, but the accuracy is very important. Now for the warrior, it's going to be a different item, so it's going to be class specific. For a warrior, it would be the shield called the Vanguard Shield. They're not going to have the same names for different items you use, unlike main weapons. Now for rings, we're going to get the red coral ring or the blue coral ring because they're quite cheap and they have decent stats to get you started. Now let's move on to the necklace, which will be the ancient guardian seal, would be my personal recommendation. It's a bit expensive right now, but sometimes it goes down. And then you got the ancient weapon core. They both give AP, DP, and then they give you the bonus of accuracy when put together. Now if we look at earrings, we're going to get the red coral earrings. It's going to give you AP and some more accuracy. Now if you can't afford those because they are pretty expensive, you can get the Barris. That's the same for your necklace and your belt. Now after you bought those things, you're going to have to enhance them. Now I'm going to talk about both enhancing and fail stacking. Now when it comes to fail stacking, you want to actually buy something that's in high quantity. A good way of doing that is checking the special deals for something cheap. And as I'm looking through here, I am going to spot these luck gloves. Right now there's only 7 of them. I'm going to go ahead and grab a few, because I have some luck gloves with me that I'm going to use for fail stacking. There we go. So now we have a bunch of luck gloves. As we enhance and we fail to enhance our item, we will lose durability, and therefore we will need to repair it. And to repair that, we will need to have more of that same item. Now here we go with the fail stack chance. As you can see, we can choose to pick durable or enhance. For you guys, it'll probably be enhance until you're ready to try fail stacking later on. So I'm going to go ahead and put it on durable, which makes it lose less durability as I fail. But obviously in the exchange of a higher chance of failing. Now we also have Cron Stones. This is something more towards the accessory upgrades later on for the end game, so we're not going to go over that right now. You'll collect a lot of Cron Stones in your travels. Just keep them in your auction or your storage. Alright, so as you see, as we fail, our enhancement chance goes up, and there's a success right there to plus 12. Now when you get your first pieces of Grunil, you're going to be just wanting to get it to plus 5 for your armor and plus 7 for your weapons. Another way to get fail stacks early on is to just buy some cheap accessories. I've gone and picked these Talus rings up. There was a little bit of lag when I was purchasing these. I only meant to buy 2. And then we can smash these together. Now, unlike weapons and armor, smashing rings together and necklaces and belts, they don't use stones. They use the same item, and when they fail, they're going to both disappear. They'll be destroyed. So accessories is very much an end game activity to be doing. So just to get a few fail stacks without black stones, you can use those to help save you some, and but only go to about fail stack of maybe 5 with those. Now I've gone back to my armor to try and fail stack some more, and we've gotten to plus 12 so far, 13, 14. Oh man, we're getting pretty high with just the 12. If I go any further, I will probably succeed. Now what I'm going to do is actually save this enhancement chance. Now we have two options. We can either go to a different character and start enhancing from 0, or we can go and buy an item from the blacksmith. And I'm going to show you guys the item of the blacksmith real quick. So let's go ahead and pay him a visit. Click shop, and you'll see these books here. Blacksmith, secret book of 20 is what I'm going to be buying. So anything 20 or less, I can transfer that fail stack to a scroll, which will then be usable for later. Alright, you see that pop up there, that extract chance. So we put it here, and then it'll turn into an Advice of Valks plus 14. So that 14 fail stack will be placed on this scroll. Let's go ahead and do that. And that will put my enhancement back to 0. Now, as you can see, it doesn't go to my inventory. It is actually in my Pearl tab. So this is bound pretty much to this character. If I need that 14 stack, I have to use my ninja. I can't use another character. But since I'm at 0, we can fail stack again. Now there is a maximum amount you can increase your chance with for a fail stack. For example, this plus 12, the enhancement chance will probably only be increased as I get to about maybe 18. Now I don't know if this percentile has changed as patches keep coming out. It probably will, especially when you're using enhance versus durable. That would be obviously very different. And since we're using durable, then the enhancement is going to just be more difficult in general. But 18 is relative cutoff to where you don't get any more increased chance as you fail past 18. Alright, looks like we've got another good fail stack here, 15. Now I'm not going to push it any further, I'd like to save this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch characters. I'm going to pop onto my warrior, and he's going to have a fresh 0 stack for me to use. So I've transferred everything to my warrior by using my warehouse, who is also in the same town. Now I'm going to go ahead and buy this shuriken and just kind of demonstrate that you can get a stack of 7 on a weapon without any chance of failure. For armor, that's 5. As you can see, getting to 7 was no problem, and we're just going to keep pushing it. Failed at plus 8 a couple times. Got it to 9. Now, as you're using what blackstones you do have to upgrade your weapons and armor as a new character and your first time playing, I would put more favoritism towards your weapon when it comes to prioritizing your enhancement chance. So what I mean by that is as you're leveling up and fail stacking, and you're doing your armor, getting it past plus 5, and you're going to plus 6, plus 7 on each piece, kind of keep it even as you're going, but your weapon, try to get that higher than the rest, and whenever you get a high fail stack off your armor, use that high fail stack on your weapon, because your weapon is going to be your kill speed. That's going to be how fast you grind. That's going to be how fast you level.
You won't ever lose money through me.
And not to mention, weapon stones tend to be a lot more expensive. Later on, you'll be using this kind of method for your more rare items, your boss gear, your awakened weapons. You're going to be using cheaper armor for fail stacks. To use that fail stack that you've collected, for example, that I saved on my ninja, I got that 15 fail stack. Maybe later on, I need to use that for an awakened weapon or a piece of boss gear. Something that's more rare and needs a higher fail stack in order to succeed, because it's going to cost me more if it fails in repairs. And with that said, don't make the mistake my friend made where he was leveling up his green item. I think it was a piece of armor, and he made a fail stack of about 26 roughly, which is a really good fail stack just to get it to plus 14. It's a bit of a waste. If I had known he was going to do that, I would have been like, hey, save it, get on another character, fail stack on some armor, and if you really need that weapon or whatever it is he was trying to upgrade, then he could use a smaller fail stack to succeed. Because like I said, they have a max, and 25 is a good fail stack to actually try on maybe trying to do a pre-blue accessory, like maybe your blue coral ring or your ancient weapon core. And here's just an example of me using a fail stack I made using a plus 11 offhand, which is currently lagging. You can see me clicking, but it's not registering. Bit of server lag. There's a lot of players now. So I got a fail stack of plus 10. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the awakened plus 9 and use that fail stack of 10 to upgrade the awakened weapon. Now, as you can see, it's failed once. But bear with us here with the lag. Anything? Gosh, look at that delay. So we failed twice. Failed 3 times. Bam, there we go. So it took a fail stack of about 13 to successfully get to plus 10 with the awakened weapon. Had I start from 0, I would have spent a lot of money later on and kicking myself for repairs. So what happens if you get an item that you're using specifically for fail stacking? For example, my gloves managed to get to plus 15 from a fail stack of 13. So I don't need them. What do I do with them? You could sell them, but that might be difficult. Someone would actually want to use them, probably. But what I can do is go to extraction here with the blacksmith, extract black crystal, throw it in, and get some of my blackstones back that I used to make it. It'll destroy the item, but we went from 19 back to 50, and we can do the process all over again. But for you guys who are just starting with new gear, are going to be wanting to keep that 15 and work on making it to pre and duo, or even try for your Grunil set. So let's say, like you guys, you get to plus 15 on your weapons and armor, you're going to want to make it pre. So I'm going to fail stack with a different piece of gear, get about 10 roughly. And for the sake of making an example, I got that offhand you saw earlier, the Tad Shuriken, that I made it to 15. And now I'm going to use that fail stack of 10 to make it into pre. In order to do that, I'm going to have to use a different thing called the Concentrated Magical Weapon Stone, which are a lot more valuable. As you can see, it failed. It gives me fail stack 2 instead of just 1 each. And here we go. Success. We now have a pre-Tad Shuriken. After you've gotten it to pre and duo, at some point we're going to want to make it ultimate. And in order to make an item ultimate, which, for example, you're going to need the Ultimate Weapon Reform Stone, which is currently out. You're probably going to have to put it on notice and put it on pre-order and all that fun stuff, which I'm not going to go over right now. You can figure that as you go. But an ultimate weapon is going to look like this. Let me show you. There's an example of a Duo Ultimate Jubre Talisman, which is going to give it additional special attack damage and give its stats a lot more power. And that pretty much sums up everything you're going to need to know to help you get started with enhancing and buying your first set of gear. I hope this helps some of you, and you guys have a good one. Good luck grinding.